Good morning. This video I'm using a calculus example, but it really doesn't matter. It's a graphing example. Essentially what I wanted to show students is how to adjust the scale of a graph so that you can see the points on it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So if you're a calculus student, you probably recognize this problem, but it's no big deal. I'm just going to turn everything on and show you what I'm talking about. So there's a couple of graphs on here. It really doesn't matter, but we want to look at them and notice how, they're really long and we'd have to zoom in. And when we zoom in, we can kind of use and this is an option. I mean, we can certainly come in here and zoom in and see stuff like this and see details. And if we know what we're looking at, that's cool. And it doesn't really matter if we're not. But anyway, what I was going to show you is how to adjust use a table of values from your function and how to adjust the view, I guess the axis view, the dimensions of your axes in order to display the graph a little bit more the way we would probably sketch it out, I guess is what I'm saying, when we're not restricted to the scale. So what you want to do is you want to think about, well, okay, what do you want your x-axis to display? And in this case, and it doesn't really, again, it doesn't really matter if you're not familiar with these. Sorry, doing a little housekeeping there. Not familiar with these particular graphs. What I want is I just want a better graph. And notice how, like in this view, I can see these important points, but I can't see this point down here towards how the graph dips down. And so we could, of course, scroll down here and see it. And to be very honest with you, this is not a horrible method once you zoom into a certain point. But again, when it's way out here, it's kind of difficult to see what's going on here, although we could interpret it. So anyway, you go to the little wrench here into your settings, and you want to adjust your x-axis. So we know, let's see, we'll see maybe -5, because we see that our graph and our table of values, we started at -1. We kind of want to know what's going on in the graph a little bit to the left of -1, so we'll go on our x-axis and put in -5. You could also put in -10. I mean, really a lot of it will be just playing with it to see what works. But see, already it kind of made it more stretched out and a little bit better. So then we look on our x-axis positive and see we're going up to 10. So we'll just go to 15. I kind of always just kind of go about 5 units past, but it really just depends. But we'll go 15. And notice how the graph is even looking better, and we can see these features a lot better. And even one could argue that we're actually done. But we'll just get it more precise. Notice that there's not a whole lot going on up here in the Y direction. There's no more minimums and stuff. Also, if you notice, if you start zooming again with your scroll key on your mouse, notice it will adjust again. So this is something that you have to do each time. And again, you may prefer just to use your fingers if you have a touch screen, or your scroll wheel on your mouse, or I think probably control arrow on your keyboard would probably work as well. But anyway, so we're going to go, what do we go to, 15? But the y-axis, we can see that the least value I have on here is like -31, or no, sorry, -3625. So I'll go to -3700, and that'll give us a nice little bit of padding there on the y-axis, negative y-axis. Oh, put 2 minus signs in there. That kind of confused it. So notice it put this right at the bottom. So let's squeeze down that positive y-axis a little bit, because it doesn't look like we're ever in our graph of values here. We're not going, our table of values here, we're not going above 200. So let's just put 200 up here. And maybe you don't like that, maybe you do. But we can see now we can really see that full view of that graph. And again, the reason why I didn't put much y-axis on there is because really not much was going on. It was just going to infinity. But again, we could notice how that changed these again. So that is it's a little bit of work, but it's not that big of a deal. And I didn't really change the horizontal that much. So let's show, what do we say, -3700. Just erase that. Negative. Let's do -500. 3,800 just to get it. And honestly, I think that that one's pretty good right there, where you have a little bit more y-axis. Let's put this to 1,000 and see what that looks like. And I think that looks great. And that was really the whole point of this video. I know sometimes, I mean, we can find this kind of information on YouTube if we know what we're looking for. You know, if we know the right question to ask, and see somebody demo it. But you know, I just figured since it was my solutions that I was sharing with students, and I do use Desmos a lot to show students, I would just show you how to do that because it is kind of useful. And now if you'd like to see more instruction videos like this because you don't find them very useful, more targeted to the examples we cover in class, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. And you know, a specific request would be kind of nice. But anyway, again, I'm not talking about this particular problem. I'm just talking about how to adjust the scale. But what I was going to say is I could show, you know, I could do little videos on how to put in a function, how to build a table of values, why I was doing this. But that would be very class specific. And you know, I would do different things for a college algebra class than a pre-calc class, than a calculus class, than a Cal 2 class. But anyway, that's it.